Hi, this is Billie Beene here with a world news flash update. Today's date, May 13, 2024. Time about 1 p.m. in Texas. Episode World 160. Some of the things we'll be covering: shipping controlled by the BRICS, and JB, known to Israel, sells to Israel's enemies. And Germany wants to put a Notam over Ukraine, and Russia to take Kharkov. Some of my sources are God in the Bible Patriot subscriber, Hal Turner, Steve Quayle, Alexander MERCOURIS, Alex Christopherou, Moon of Alabama, Best and Taylor, Celeste Salom, Sun Tzu, Art of War. So let's get started. I want to begin with shipping. A basic tenet of Sun Tzu, Art of War, taught in all military academies and, according to Carrie Cassidy, also taught in Hollywood. Basic tenets: how to overcome your enemy. And one of the tenets is to overcome your opponent any way you can without using your military. So let's talk about what we see going on in shipping. In the Panama Canal, located in Central America, a major thoroughfare for shipping from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, was built in the 1900s by France and then taken over by the U.S. And in 1977, President Jimmy Carter signed some type of treaty giving control to the government of Panama, who, over the past few decades, have made close alliances with China. And China, since about 2017, has invested billions and now controls major parts of the Panama Canal. So I put China now in control of the Panama Canal. We have another major shipping lane, Suez Canal, located between Africa and Israel. Russia, in the last few years, have put in a major base in Libya, and it's believed to control the Mediterranean Sea and the Suez Canal. We see Iran controlling the Strait of Hormuz, as well as this entry point into the Red Sea through their proxy, the Houthis in Yemen. We see Turkey controlling a major shipping lane into the Black Sea, adjacent to Ukraine and Russia. It's believed, while Turkey is a current NATO member, that Turkey is leaning toward joining the BRICS. And so we see BRICS is in control of a major percentage of global shipping. Panama Canal, Suez Canal, the Red Sea Passage, the Strait of Hormuz, the passage into the Black Sea. So that's going on. And now we have this. Best and Taylor brought out some intel from Steve Quayle. The U.S. has been double-crossed, triple-crossed, and quadruple-crossed. We don't yet know what that refers to, but the U.S. has been double-crossed. We would believe it. Now from Business Insider, May 7, we have returning to the Red Sea area the USS Eisenhower, along with several destroyers, moving from the Crete, Greece area down to this shipping passage. So that's going on. Now, Best and Taylor. Yeah, JB recently stopped selling weapons and ammo to Israel, but concurrent opened wide open selling weapons and ammo to Hezbollah in Lebanon, here, also Iraq, also Qatar. Qatar is the location for the Hamas leadership and also to Hamas. And we had this information also, Bested Taylor, Hal Turner, and Moon of Alabama. The U.S. betrays Israel and not sell weapons and ammo, but currently, according to Joel Rosenberg, selling to Hamas and ISIS. The New York Post, via a U.S. government-funded NGO, BBeene, this group gave $1 million to Hamas 6 days before the October 7 Israel attack. And BBeene, the NGO supported by the U.S. government, is associated with the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. And we have this, So we've seen Israel currently going forward with their attack in Rafah. Now the number of dead, and we have additional nations now supporting genocide charge. So genocide, Israel, charged with genocide by the Hague Court and the UN. Genocide. Initially, it was brought forward by South Africa. They're now supported by Colombia, Egypt, and Turkey in the UN. So it's believed, and many are putting forth, that there are 40,000 dead. But Ralph Nader believes that there was 100,000 bombs dropped on Gaza. If you simply killed 2 people per bomb, that would be 200,000 dead. Ralph Nader's info is more like 500,000 or 500,000 are dead now in Gaza. And that seems logical based on his knowledge of how many bombs were dropped. And now we have information that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is dropping flyers in South Gaza saying, go to the north. And in the north, they're dropping flyers saying, go to the south. But the IDF is dropping bombs on both the north and the south. So we see Israel continues genocide. Now this is coming out. May 10 by Hal Turner, Palestine is okay to become a nation by the UN. Well, Hal Turner had brought this information out early in the Israel situation, that in 1949, Israel signed a UN treaty as an independent nation. 1949. So what's happened to Palestine between 1949 and 2024? Now they're being put forth again, once again, to become an independent nation. And in the UN vote, yes, 143, no, 9, abstain 25. But it still has to be approved by the UN Security Council, including the U.S. So it's not likely to pass. So I brought out what's going on in Israel and shipping. So now we'll talk about what's going on in Russia, NATO situation. So we've got Ukraine, Russia coming in, Black Sea. You know, this entrance is controlled by Turkey. Now we have this from Alexander MERCOURIS and Alex CHRISTEFEROU. NATO is to put forth a draft. And oh, by the way, intel came out. That was recently, we had the ambassadors in Moscow from France and the UK go to a meeting with the Russian government, and Russia said, you know, if NATO puts boots on the ground or they put NATO planes over Ukraine and so on, that Russia would bomb Washington, D.C., London, England, Paris, France, and I believe Berlin, Germany, and Brussels. And possibly Denmark if they tried to block shipping in the Baltic Sea. Now, MERCOURIS and CHRISTEFEROU are putting this forth that NATO has and also at this meeting, these ambassadors were shown that Russia is in possession of NATO's secret plan to invade Ukraine. Okay, so now NATO is going to put forth a draft, according to Jens Stoltenberg, not to go into Ukraine and no NATO in Ukraine. Yeah, now this is coming forth. The Baltic nations, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Lithuania publicly says we want to send our troops in first. Italy is saying we want to send in troops. And it's based on documents, NATO documents coming out to take place in July. So I don't think Russia is going to fall for a NATO draft saying NATO's not going into Ukraine, because I believe Russia remembers the Minsk Treaty. And now this is coming out. Europe wants to seize Russian assets, billions of dollars in European banks. They're saying they just want to take the interest, and that 80% will go to Ukraine, 10% to Europe, and 10% to Zelensky. Slovakia and Hungary don't want any of the interest money. They believe the money belongs to Ukraine. And now we have this. We have also Sun Tzu, Art of War. Defeat your opponent any way you can without using your military. There was a fire on an ammo depot in the U.S. in April, and that produces 155 millimeter ammo. And in May, there was a fire at the Diehl manufacturer in Berlin, Germany, that produces IRIS-T air defense missiles and ammo for HIMARS. So that's going on. Now, Hal Turner came out with the bulletin May 12, yesterday, that Germany, so let's draw us a map. We've got Germany over here. Germany wants to impose a Notam, no-fly, over Ukraine for drones. So that would mean Germany wants to send in air defense assets over Ukraine to take down Russian drones. Well, that sounds like an escalation to me. And that would certainly make Germany a potential target for Russia. Germany wants to impose a no-fly over western Ukraine for Russian drones, and they would fly them out of Poland and Romania. So yeah, that's going on. And so if NATO shoots down Russian drones over Ukraine, then bases in Poland and Romania would become targets. And we have this. Yeah, this information about the ambassadors seeing the secret war plans came from Steve Quayle. NATO's plan to invade Ukraine. The ambassadors were shown that Russia is in possession of the secret NATO invasion plan. Now we have this. So we have today, Russia is now going in to take Kharkov. They have a 100,000 plus troop and they are making steady progress from Luhansk, Donbass, into this area, and will soon cross the Dnipro River. They're now using a new symbol on their equipment and their bombs that's called the Spear of Odin, and the shape is a square with an X through it. And this is the ancient symbol used when Russia came against Khazaria in the distant past. Khazaria was the origin point for the Ashkenazi Jews. And I know that's true, I've researched it. So, through the use of a new symbol by Russia, they are identifying who is their enemy. Hal Turner's opinion, and this is based on an anonymous military analyst who provided information to Hal Turner. Russia to go in to take Kharkiv and Sumy when Ukraine is weak, a time put forth by the military analyst January to April of 2024. There is the inability of the U.S. to be able to supply weapons and ammo. And this Russian offensive is the big one. Currently, Ukraine has 300,000 troops with low training and little weapons and ammo. This military analyst believes Ukraine is on the brink of collapse. They can soon surrender or retreat. And we are hearing reports of surrenders by the Ukraine military as Russia goes in. We're also hearing reports the Kharkiv mayor left Kharkiv last week, and the Kharkiv government has been trying to get the citizens in this area to evacuate, and they refuse. They are waiting for Russia to liberate them. So that's going on. Now, this military analyst continues his or her op-ed and does believe that the U.S. will send troops into Ukraine. If F-16s go into Ukraine, they will be operated by NATO pilots, and they will take off from NATO airfields, most likely located in Poland and Romania. This military analyst believes NATO and the F-16s will go into Ukraine in the next 45 to 60 days, June and July. And it's very likely Ukraine will collapse and that NATO will try to go into Ukraine to fight Russia directly. So that's going on. And Hal Turner's opinion is that this NATO escalation will take place January to April. The U.S. cannot supply weapons and ammo. Yeah, so that's going on. So this concludes my flash. I love you, and I'll see you soon.